Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This is Kodeations. In today's video, we're going to be jumping back into some Cookie Run Kingdom, and we've got a PvP tier list for you guys, all right? So without further ado, let's dive right in. Alright, now starting off the video here, the first thing I want to mention for you guys is going to be, as always, a little bit of a disclaimer, just talking about that these tier list videos are going to be controversial. You might not agree with them, especially when it comes to which cookies you have been able to test out in the arena yourself, or maybe that you just don't have some of these other ones, so you're clearly not using them, alright? But at the end of the day, just understand that you might disagree, and if that is the case, that's a-okay, alright? So I just highly recommend anybody that does disagree, state your comment down below of why you disagree, so then all of us can just better understand, you know, where you're coming from, and then not only that, maybe it will help me even understand and maybe even change up the tier list. You never know. Alrighty, now diving right in here, ladies and gentlemen, we've got SS down to C, as I've already mentioned. We're gonna go ahead and break down my each individual tier so you guys already know exactly what we've got going on. So on my SS tier, that's gonna be the staple cookies, alright? So this is gonna be pretty much any arena team composition that you are building. These cookies should be at some part of your team because they just excel that much at the arena. The second one up for the S tier, that's going to be the most popular cookies used, or aka around those staple cookies, all right? So just keep that in mind. You know, whatever your team composition you're trying to build, most of your cookies are going to come out of SS and S tier if you had every single cookie, you know, of the epic quality at your disposal in Cookie Run Kingdom. Moving on to the A category, and that's going to be the sub in for S cookies, all right? So basically meaning some of these A's can be equally as good as S depending on what team composition you are building and depending on what cookies you have available to you at the time of trying to grind out the arena or to build a specific team composition. Moving on to B, that's going to be the niche cookies. The niche cookies are going to be pretty much cookies that you're not going to use outside of a specific team composition. However, those specific cookies are really, really good with those specific team comps. That's going to be where the B category comes. And then last but not least, the C category for me is going to be just cookies that don't excel in the arena, and there's not really a point to use them unless if you just are just now brand new in the game and don't have any other cookies and you just need to get some arena medals, then obviously you have to use whatever you can. So just keep that in mind. Alrighty, so with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump into the very first cookie we've got on SS, and that's going to bring us to the brand new Sea Fairy cookie, man. If you guys don't already know, Sea Fairy cookie, rightfully so, being the only legendary in the game, is absolutely broken 100% when it comes to the arena, just because, I mean, overall, the AoE damage is really, really hard, you know, to swap out or really exchange for anything else because it's just that good. And not only that, she pops off a 5 enemy stun, and yeah, a 5 enemy stun is absolutely broken when it comes to the overall arena. So 100%, if you get a copy of Sea Fairy, she should be placed on your arena team immediately, all right? Moving on to the second one we've got for SS tier, or the staple tier, and that's going to be Strawberry Crepe. Strawberry Crepe, again, still very, very hard to argue that they are the best, absolute best front-end cookie for your arena composition, hands down. No matter what team comp that you are building, running a Sea Fairy is going to add a ton of survivability to your overall team and a little bit of pushback if you were trying to do some of those, you know, pushback stun comps, all right? So keep that in mind. Third and final we've got for the SS tier, and that's going to bring us to the holy grail healer in the game, and that's going to be Pure Vanilla, all right? This guy's absolutely ridiculous, technically broken when it comes to healing in the game, and not only that, one could argue support, because he also provides that damage mitigation shield, which again, very, very hard to argue that it is not a staple when it comes to the overall arena. Alrighty, now diving right in here to the S rank we've got for you guys today, and the first cookie we're going to be placing here is going to be none other than Herb Cookie, alright? So in my last tier list video we did over a month ago, we had Herb right next to PVC, because in my mind I was thinking like, well, if you don't have PVC, then you gotta run Herb, making him an SS tier, and that's just not true. PVC is way better than Herb 100%. If you got a PVC, you should be running PVC over Herb, especially in the overall arena, because once you start ranking pretty high, you're going to get absolutely obliterated by teams with PVC if you do not have Herb, all right? So keep that in mind. Herb's going to be placed here. It's the healer. It's the second best option if you do not have Pure Vanilla. Moving up to the next cookie we've got for S tier, and that's going to bring us to Black Raisin. Now, Black Raisin, arguably really, really good. Like I said in the last tier list video, I completely slept on Black Raisin Raisin. At the end of the day, she's really, really good. She scales really, really well. Not only that, pairing her pretty much with any team composition that you're building in the overall arena can work, and she adds a ton of just value to any team comp that you put her on. So again, that's going to be why she is going to be there. And not only that, a lot of pros, especially higher ranking in the arena, are utilizing Black Raisin on a handful of comps. Moving right along to the next cookie we've got, and that's going to be Latte Cookie. Now, Latte Cookie, again, is going to be there. Very favorable when it comes to the overall arena. She's going to have a silence ability on her overall skill, which basically pretty much allows her to shut down some of those, stun comps, some of those, like cheese comps in the overall arena. And not only that, she can put a major crutch on any team composition if you happen to pop off her skill at the right time and you build her specifically with specific team composition. So that's going to be the reason why Latte holds her value when it comes to the overall arena. Moving on to the next one I've got, and that's going to be Licorice Cookie. Licorice Cookie, again, one of those kind of, hard to argue cookies where the minions add a ton of survivability, a ton of damage mitigation by taking in and soaking up other damage from, enemies, and last but not least, by just doing a ton of damage depending on how you build your Licorice and your team synergy. So again, really, really hard to argue, but Licorice is going to maintain his spot on the S rank for me. Moving right along to the next one, and this one's going to be near and dear to my heart, and that's going to be Vampire Cookie, all right? I've talked to a handful of people before making this video, and a lot of them do not use, Vampire, and a lot of them all say that in the top 100, at least in the overall arena, nobody is utilizing Vampire, and I'm gonna 100% back that up. I definitely think that Vampire does fall off once you get, kind of out of mid-game, and you've kind of been, ranking up a little bit higher in the overall arena, and you're really trying to niche in on making a, the perfect arena team, so you can grind it out every single season and get those additional crystals. Vampire does fall off, so just keep that in mind. But in my personal opinion, most players are going to have him built from PvE content, therefore making it very, very easy to to just move him over, into the PvP world and just use him as a DPS placement until you do decide to build whatever team composition you are building. And because of that, he does become a popular choice for low and mid-tier arenas. So that's going to be Vampire Cookie. Moving up to the last one we've got for the S category, and that's going to bring us to the brand new Pastry Cookie a couple updates ago. Again, Pastry's just kind of like working her way up the tier list here, especially for the arena mode. Pastry really, really shines in the speed meta comp. However, there's been some additional makeshift comps and additional comps that have utilized Pastry and really invested in Pastry, not only for PvP, but also PvE. And that's going to be the reason why I think she is climbing up that ladder, because people are starting to see the potential, especially after, specifically putting specific toppings on her and utilizing her in specific team compositions. She does really, really shine. So that's going to be Pastry Cookie. Now, moving on to the A category we've got for you guys. Again, keep in mind that the A category are going to be what I would call sub-tier with S category cookies, meaning if you don't have some of the S tier cookies, then don't feel bad about utilizing some of these A's. If you happen to have every single S tier, then you don't really need to be worried about utilizing these A cookies at this time. Or if you're building a specific team composition, or maybe you're super AoE heavy already and you don't want to build another AoE unit from the S tier, so you can go ahead and grab somebody from the A tier. So just keep that in mind. The first cookie we've got up is going to be Dark Choco. Again, everybody already knows Dark Choco. He was leading way long before Strawberry Crepe came out, and he's just pretty much fallen off at this point. I mean, he's a good substitution if you don't have Strawberry Crepe. Obviously, you're going to utilize a Dark Choco, but at the end of the day, he's not going to be something that you're going to be looking to invest in right off the bat. The next one up is going to be probably the best AoE outside of Black Raisin and Latte when it comes to the overall arena, and that's going to be the Mango Cookie, all right? So Mango Cookie, again, pretty much taken over the realm of Espresso at this point. I don't think that Mango is going to be on par with Latte because he doesn't have anything sort of like a shutdown or a silencing ability or damage over time, and the attack buff that he provides is very minimal, so it's not really much of a game changer. Moving on to the next one we've got, and that's going to be Rye Cookie. Rye Cookie, again, still kind of holds that value, but has been pretty much been dropping from, day one when all these additional damage dealing cookies have come out. She's a single target damage dealer in the game. Again, not a bad option to fill in if you are lacking a little bit of DPS, or maybe you get lucky and you pull multiple copies of Rye. It's not going to be a bad way to go, or invest in them, because you can utilize Rye through various content in the game. Moving on to the last one we've got here here for the A tier, and that's going to bring us to, last but not least, you know, sad, but, you know, we hate to see him go, and that's going to be Espresso. Espresso, again, at the end of the day, we've said in a bazillion videos already, Espresso's pretty much fallen off at this point. You know, Mango Cookie replaces Espresso, you know, then on top of that, you've got Latte, you've got Black Raisin, which is like the holy grail, and then now we've got Sea Fairy Cookie as a bomber, so I would argue to say that you probably shouldn't be utilizing Espresso. However, if you don't have Black Raisin or Latte, then, you know, obviously it can be argued that you can utilize Espresso and still utilize that overall burst AoE damage, especially if you're trying to build a comp that can, you know, obliterate the team right off the bat as soon as you load in. Moving on to the B tier category, we've got now these cookies, again, keep in mind, are going to be niche specific cookies, all right? These are going to be cookies that, depending on what team composition you are building, that's going to be the only time that you would utilize these cookies. So things like Madeline Cookie, the mint chocolate chip cookie, almond cookie, the Lily Stun comp, you've got the RV Stun, or the, you know, the Insta Grab comp, and then last but not least, you've got that brand new Lilac cookie. So again, these cookies are not bad cookies. You can utilize these cookies, but outside of just, you know, these specific team compositions, like the speed meta comp, you're never going to use mint choco or Madeline. Outside of the, you know, almond comps, you're not going to use almond, unfortunately. Outside of the Lily Stun comp, you're not going to use Lily. You get the picture here, right? Same thing goes for the brand new Lilac cookie. It's unfortunate, but Lilac is going to be utilized in that speed meta comp, and that's it. You're not going to really be utilizing him anywhere else. And so with that being said, that's why these cookies are going to be placed on B tier. Now that does leave us with all of the additional epic cookies here. And again, keep this in mind that these epic cookies are just not going to be very usable in the arena. They do not excel in the overall arena. They don't offer hardly any value to any team composition that you would build specifically for the arena. And with that being said, you just specifically shouldn't use them unless, like I said at the beginning of the video, if you don't happen to have any other cookie available, then at the end of the day, it's going to be, you know, you're gonna have to use whatever you got. That's gonna be it for me, ladies and gentlemen. You guys let me know down below in the comment section if you agree or disagree with this tier list video. I highly invite anybody that does disagree, please give me some information. Drop it down below on the comments so I can read it. Not only that, other players can read it as well, so we can hear your point out. And not only that, hey, you might be able to change my opinion. But just keep in mind, it is a tier list video, my friends. It is very controversial. Everybody has different amount of resources. Everybody spends a little bit more or doesn't spend anything in the game, so they can test more things, or they can't test things, you know, where maybe they don't have every single cookie at their disposal, so they got to just use what they have. So at the end of the day, just use what you got. If you got any questions, I do have a Discord link provided down below in the description. We've got over 1,000 Kingdom players over there that would be more than willing to give you as much love and support or anything that you need when it comes to answering any questions. And with that being said, as always, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you get a notification every time we drop a video. We do go live on the channel playing Cookie Run Kingdom Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you guys on the next one.